see you. You can come in. You can come in. Okay. All right. Hello, 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 everybody. We are live in the studio. Um, Give us a few seconds. There we go. Now, man. We are live in the studio. We are excited about being here tonight. Can you guys, we're going to share, we're going to tag. Yes, 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 yes. Hey, Tanya, we are going to share. Can you guys hear us? Can y'all see us? Can y'all just give me a thumbs up or something? Can y'all say hello to my friend, Jayden? Jayden is in the house. Hello, my friend. Y'all, I love, love, love this kid. This is an amazing young fella. Jayden is 11 years old, right, Jayden?
Yeah.
Jayden is a fashion designer. He's awesome. You're an honor roll student in school. And Jayden is headed to New York City. I am super, super excited to have this young fella on with me tonight. I'm sorry we were running just a little bit late, but hello, everybody. We definitely want you guys to tune in, share, share, share. Give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of start sharing and inviting people to join in. Give us a few moments. We're going to get started, but definitely share, share, share on tonight. I'm going to let Jayden tell you guys a little bit about him in just a second. Give me a few minutes. Let us get started officially per se. And we are going to rock and roll. Jayden, how was your day?
It was very, very good.
Very good. Had a good day? Good. So I'm going to need you to pull your chair up just a tad bit, if you don't mind, and then speak in the microphone. That way I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I can hear you too. You are amazing, Jayden. I am so proud of you. Like, I am super proud of this kid, y'all. Let me tell you, while we're doing this, Jayden literally made clothes for me, right? For my very first fashion show back in March of this year. And those kids came out on the stage and they rocked it. They rocked it. When I tell y'all they rocked it, they rocked it. And so I am super excited. Again, to have Jayden on the show with me tonight. I definitely want you guys to share, share, share. We're going to go ahead and just kind of dive right in. Again, Jayden, let's go. So tell the people a little bit about you, where you go to school, what grade you're in. We already told them that you're 11 years old, all that good stuff.
So I recently attended Shadowbar Elementary, but now I'm going on the 6th grade.
Yes, boy, going to junior high. He's a cutie too. He's a cutie. So tell them, are you an AB honor roll student or how's your grades?
I think last year, I think I was an AB honor roll.
He's an AB honor roll student. You better keep those grades up. All right, all right, all right. So let's talk a little bit about you being a fashion designer. What made you want to become a designer? Like what inspired you? Was it Miss Felicia? You better say yes, Dave. Was it Miss Felicia or what? What inspired you to want to become a fashion designer at 11 years old, man?
Well, my mom is a fashion designer, so I pretty much watched her through all the years and picked it up from her.
Aww.
And it helps me continue on going with
so
support.
You've learned from mommy then, right? Mm-hmm. So then that says a lot. How vital or how important, let me use the junior high words on you. How important is it to have mommy's support with you designing your clothes and all?
It's very important.
Very important.
She helps me through everything.
I bet. So you've learned a lot from mom, and you're very appreciative of mom and all that she's taught you. Huh? Awesome. So tell me this, and we'll just talk a little bit. So you just kind of watched mom around the house sewing and making clothes, and then one day you just decided, hey, I want to try that.
Yes.
Is that kind of how it went?
Yeah, I kind of slowly went into it. I started with pillows as usual, and then we started going into garments.
Yes, and I'm super excited. Mommy reached out to me back in March, so let me just kind of tell you guys a little history about Miss Felicia's fashion shows, because our shows are, I would say, professional kids fashion shows, right? I've seen some of these bootleg fashion shows around here lately, and I'm like, woohoo, at least we're professional. But anyways, enough of that. We actually did our first fashion show back in March, and we wanted to make sure that all of the kids had at least one outfit to walk away with. And that was our gift from Smart Scholars to the kids that participated in the event, right? And so your mom reached out to me and she was like, hey, my son, we saw your post and my son designs clothes and I would love, love, love to have him to make clothes for you. And I was like, oh my God. And then she started telling me like you were 11 years old. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. I think you were 10 at the time, maybe, right? Or
No,
maybe
I was
you was
still
11 in
11.
March. Okay. So I definitely wanted you to be a part of it. And I mean, Jayden, you rocked those clothes, man. I was so proud of you. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Was that kind of one of your first events maybe that you made clothes for? Or
Yeah, that was my second event.
bam! No, you better say first. All right, Jayden, I'll let that be your second event. I thought Smart Scholars was going to be your first. But anyways, let's talk about your first. When did you
It was
make
a
your
milestone.
first? I know it was. Now that's what I'm talking about, a milestone. Okay, so what was your first then? Because I didn't.
My first was at the Contemporary Arts Museum.
Yes, brother.
It was with the Teen Council. It was the Teen Council fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed up last year when we saw that we actually went to the event.
Wow. And so you made clothes for them. How many outfits did you make for them?
I did children's clothes. So I had like my friends model for me. Gotcha. And then I did one adult.
Aww. Jayden, you are so amazing. I'm so, so, so proud of you. Y'all, this kid, again, he's 11 years old. So let's fast forward and talk a little bit about the Smart Scholars Fashion Show. So you did all of these tie-dyes for the kids, and then you did the actual turquoise and green. I remember just like it was yesterday. Amazing, amazing shirts and dresses and outfits for the kids. How did you feel doing that? Because now this was for a fashion show, right? And this was mostly for kids. How did you feel doing that?
Well, with kids, it feels good because it's for kids, for a younger generation. You gotta make sure it's good for them. But
right,
it just feels good to see them walk the runway, and I swear, I think I saw a little spark behind them.
You better have them. Those girls was rocking them outfits. Let me tell you, they were like, "Oh my God, Jayden made this for me." But let me tell you. So remember what we did? We kind of had the kids to all come out during the intermission, and I wanted them to just display your clothing online during the intermission, or should I say live during the intermission. That was so cool, Jayden. Let me tell you, when those kids came out with your outfits on, they rocked it. They absolutely rocked it. And the crowd was cheering you on, and they were excited to see the outfits. How did that make you feel?
It felt very amazing. It felt very like strong, like liberating.
Right. Now, because one thing, Miss Felicia, I'll fight for the kids, right? I'll go down for the kids. Don't mess with my kids, whatever y'all do. But I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that was my whole intent and purpose, because I really, really, really wanted to push you out there on that night. I wanted people to know you, to get to see your clothing. We had adults, ladies that made clothing for the kids. I had girls all the way from New York City, really, that shipped clothes into me, and Alabama and Mississippi. And I remember those ladies like it was yesterday. But you stood out so much for me, and you're locally right here in Houston. And I remember when we had the last practice and you came out and you brought your clothes, and you had the kids to model and try them on so that you can kind of see how they fit. How did that make you feel?
It felt, of course, like the process. It felt good. Yeah. It felt very nice, as usual.
Good. So is there anything you'd like to say about the fashion show? Do you remember just kind of that night and
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the conference call.
Yay! You remember we were on the conference calls and we would talk about getting an update of where you guys were, and just kind of making sure that we were all on task and on target with getting our clothing in. And you were sitting right there on the phone call with all those grown adults listening in and chiming in, and you were 11 years old. So now tell me one last time, how did that make you feel? Like to know that you were amongst so many other amazing fashion designers all across the world, different states, and here you are, little old 11-year-old Jayden, sitting there on the conference call with these amazing women. Were you thinking, yes,
Yes, it was very special. It felt very special.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm excited. I am really, really happy for you. So tell us about your latest project. I know you got some things going on. I hear you're doing some production right now, and like, is that all a part of what you got going on too, or?
Yes. Well, I have I did a short film recently. It
Wow.
was recently premiered, and I played a kid.
What?
And
You played a kid? Sounds about right. I mean, hey.
But yeah, so it was very fun.
What was the name of the production?
It was there were two. One I was an extra, and then the other one I was actually in it. The one that I was actually in was called "Sold Out the Bus Stop." So I played this kid. It was very.
And you enjoyed
special.
it?
Yes.
You enjoyed it? Awesome. Sure. I'm so proud of you, Jayden. So let's talk a little bit about your clothing and your designs. I know we got some models out here. We're going to show you guys some of his outfits that he's modeled. And I am super excited about that. Y'all, this kid is literally like making clothes. When I tell y'all you're a seamstress, like you're a fashion designer, man. Tell us about your event you got coming up. I hear you're headed off to New York, right?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very special in a way because I'm the youngest. Yes. Youngest designer.
So I've already done my research, right? And I found that you're like the youngest one that's going to be participating in this fashion show, and so that's super, super special, and that should always be that too should be a milestone for you, if nothing else. But let's talk a little bit. So you're gonna go to New York City, and what do you think is gonna happen when you get there?
When I get there, we're obviously gonna like check in and get settled. But
right.
I think that morning we're gonna go look around, go sightseeing, because the last time I went to New York, I was very tiny. I don't remember it.
Okay,
but
all right.
I can't
You're
wait.
11, kid. You're 11. What are you talking about? The last time I went to New York. I went to New York once in my life, and I was almost 40 then. I'm so proud of you, though. Seriously, all jokes aside, I am really proud of you. Okay, so Fashion Week. Have you read up on it? Do you know a little bit about the Fashion Week and how you guys get to present and get your vendor table and all of that? And
well, this show is it feels more special because it's on the official Fashion Week calendar. So
you made the cut, boy. You made the cut.
Apparently,
Jayden, why are you not taking me with you? That's the only question that I've been wanting to ask you all day. Like, why am I not going to New York City with you? Ooh.
It's expensive.
Hey, dude, we got this. No, I'm gonna let you go. You better take lots of pictures, call me, FaceTime me, something, and let me know how you're doing there. Okay, so you're gonna get there, you're gonna get all checked in. You're the youngest kid on the block. Are you ready for this? Like, are you ready for this?
Yeah, it feels. I'm about to cry.
Don't you cry on me, boy.
It's very special.
Oh, this is my sweet boy. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, so headed to New York. You guys are going to get there. You're on the actual agenda. So you get to actually feature your designs. Tell us a little bit about that. What did you make? And I know we're going to show you guys real quickly. I want to make sure that what we're going to show, is that what they're going to be wearing for the...
This is like a sneak peek.
Okay, perfect.
They are going to be wearing clothes.
Yeah, get to see a sneak peek. Okay, go tell everybody. Come share, check in, come watch us. We're getting ready to show you guys some of Jayden's clothing in just a moment. He's going to give y'all a sneak peek. All right, so you're on the agenda, so you're going to actually be presenting. Tell us a little bit about your clothing wear.
So for this collection, it was inspired by evening wear, very like chic evening wear. It's something you could go to and like a fancy dinner or something like that.
Okay, too. Okay. So you're doing more of the chic evening wear, fancy, girly type of stuff, right?
Sophisticated, yes.
Yes, Jayden. You are amazing at 11 years old. Who would ever think can you design me something sophisticated and chic and nice?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna hold you to that, but I'm gonna let you get through Fashion Week first, all right? And then so what else? Don't tell them everything, but just kind of give us an idea of what else you're gonna be making for your clothing wear, should I say?
Well, with this collection, it's gonna have not a very strict color palette,
Okay.
but somewhat of a color palette. So
Uh-huh.
it's
So, for those of you that don't know what color palettes are, he meant the actual color of the outfits that he's designing. You have a sector of color palettes that you choose from. Am I explaining that right? You have a clothing color of palettes that you choose from, and then of course you take your patterns and you design them. How do you go about? Do you make your clothes from the patterns, or do you just kind of make them from scratch?
well with the it depends because if we usually have patterns and we usually collect. I usually come up with the uh, come up with the
Idea.
silhouette and
Uh-huh.
I sketch it out and
Aw.
it all comes together. But if it
Dang, you are really a fashion designer for real. Like you sketch out your attire, you actually see it, envision it, and then you sketch it out, and then you make it. Boy, I'm gonna be your manager. Do you have a manager?
yes,
No.
I
Are you looking for a manager? Are you hiring, buddy? Don't ever forget Miss Felicia. You are on an amazing path, and I'm super, super excited for you. This is like destiny for you, right? Like this, does this feel like this is your path that you're on, and this is where you're headed in life? And does it feel good?
yes, it feels like with going to Fashion Week,
Uh-huh.
it feels like a long stairwell, and it feels like 5 steps past.
Man, at 11 years old, shoot, I can't even get to New York City for Food Week. Here you on for Fashion Week, but I'm super, super, super excited about you having that opportunity to go to New York City at 11 years of age. That doesn't happen to half of the average American citizen, right? Like I didn't know my path in life until I probably was 40, but I commend you, Jayden. I do. And that's why it was so important to have you on this show tonight. Because one of the things that I'm always going to do, y'all, is I want the world to know about our amazing children that we have in society today. Like we always hear about kids that are being murdered and kids that are in gangs and violence and all the bad things about our children. But here we have an amazing 11-year-old kid who is doing exceptionally well in school, exceptionally well in society, and on his way to New York City at 11 years of age. Why not highlight that, right? It was important to me. I told your mom, I was like, bring him. I got to get him on the show. So I'm super excited to have you because I really want you to know that I salute you. I'm here, Jayden, whatever I can do to promote you. I am going to invest into you going to New York City. I am going to help you. And I'm going to ask my viewers, my fans to do likewise. But y'all, can y'all send some round of applause, some hearts, some cheers, some something for Jayden, and let him know how super proud we are of him. This doesn't happen often to too many 11-year-olds, right? So I cannot express enough how happy and excited I am for you. You go to New York City and you rock it. Do you hear me? You rock it. And then you say, you know what? I did that for Miss Felicia. All right.
Okay.
And take lots of pictures. Okay, so let's do this real quickly. It's about almost 7:30. We are getting ready to actually showcase some of your designs. I know you brought a couple of your models, and they're cute, and they're sassy, and they're chic. And what was that other word you used?
Sophisticated.
Yeah, sophisticated. So we're gonna meet you guys out there. If y'all don't mind, for those of you that are tuning in, Jayden, I'm gonna let you go out so that you can kind of get them situated and get them ready. Mom, when we come back, I would love, love, love to bring you on and let you just kind of talk a little bit about the parenting side of this and how you must feel as a mother, to have your 11-year-old son. And don't you come over here crying, girl. Don't. I know you're so emotional. You're worse than me, right? All right, guys. So look, I'm gonna take my headsets off. We are getting ready to go out, and I want y'all. We're in the studio live, but I am getting ready to go outside. I want to make sure that they're ready. We're gonna go out here. Come on, come on. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna turn the camera around in just a second. I'm super excited. Oh, almost through. All right, y'all ready? Get your models together, and then we'll come back. I'll bring you back on to say goodbye to the people. So, Mom, all right, come have a seat by me. Y'all, are y'all, is this amazing or what? I'm sorry we had to like take the camera outside and do all that stuff, but that's okay. That's a part of showcasing who we are and what we're about. But let me turn the camera back around. We got to just work it the best way we know how here.
I'm not sure either. I'm very.
You're not confused. All right, if you can grab your headsets and let's just talk you and I a little bit about this amazing, amazing, amazing son of ours. You know, I really do. Y'all know I take my kids seriously. I think I become the mom too, huh? I become more of the mommy too with our kids. And that's okay because it takes a village, right?
It does.
It takes a village. But let's talk a little bit about your part, your role, what you play. And we heard him say earlier that he watched you sew and just kind of design clothing when he was a little kid. Did you have any idea that this is where he was his footsteps were gonna actually follow yours?
No. We pretty much anything that he had interest in, his dad and I kind of focused all of his
all of our attention on whatever he
wanted to
really
do.
wanted to do. So when he wanted to cook, we were like, all right, cool, let's get you all of the
kitchen,
cookbooks,
right?
get you all of the aprons. I mean, even his grandparents were sending in cookbooks, and it's. I guess he has a really supportive family. It's
That's
just,
amazing. And that's key, girl. Like, people say whatever they want, but every child that I've come into contact with, it's always that strong foundation of parents. It's that parental support, it's that family engagement. And that's why we have to go back as as people. I'm not even going to say as a race, as people. We must go back to tending to our children. Of course, we say this all the time. You got younger kids having babies now, and they're getting younger and younger and younger by the age. But we, as the mature adults, it's our responsibility to make sure that these kids have a solid foundation. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. I think one of the main keys and points is in life in general, like with whatever age that you're at, is just to find a passion. Because if you don't have that, that's usually where things
The
go
void.
astray.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All these kids are trying to like kind of fill that void with like,
drugs,
anything
gangs,
else.
violence, sex, you name it.
Absolutely.
Because they don't know their value. Here you have an 11-year-old kid who, okay, perhaps he started out cooking. I'm sure he's probably tried 2 or 3 things.
Yeah,
but finally we got to that point in life where, how did that make you feel?
I was super proud because
I'm sure.
Dad is really into music, and he even, I mean, when he said, "Oh, I really like music," he got the guitars, he's got recording equipment.
Talk about supportive parents, you guys, all right?
Like whatever he had any interest in, literally just throw everything.
Give it a try. Hey, nothing beats a failure but a try.
But the thing is, you can't really force them to go in a particular direction, because
Exactly.
when they pick up something, they either love it or they just like, or it's just a hobby, and that's fine. But the fact that he had a natural knack for design was super surprising, especially as a
younger kid.
African American boy. Like,
who are you telling? 11 years old. It's like, okay, you don't find that too often. And I am very proud of you too. Like, I salute you. I commend you, Sabrina. You and I bonded.
I'm really shy. I don't want to be in front of the
camera.
camera.
Right? I forgot this girl was a cry baby, y'all. She will cry at the drop of a hat. But I remember when you reached out to me and you called me, and can I just be candid? Can I be totally honest with
Absolutely.
you? When you were like, my son is a designer, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then you said, he's 11 years old. I was like, oh my God, like, you really? Like, I want him. I knew then that was my intent and my purpose. And if it was no more than for us to do that fashion show for Jayden, to have him showcase his clothing and his, clothing line, because I kept saying it. We got an 11-year-old kid that's going to be fashion showcasing his clothing line. I was pumping that up like crazy. You remember? Like, I was like, this kid is going to be at our fashion show. And so I took pride in that as well, knowing that I'm investing into this child's life. Like, this was important to me.
You were a major support. And I really think, I can't imagine, like, just the amount of support that Jayden's getting is just very overwhelming, honestly.
That's amazing.
You know how it is. It's really difficult, especially on your own platform, to try to get anywhere in life, and to see him do it at 11
years old, right? And that's where we as a society, that's where we as people, we got to come in and get behind our kids and push them, push them to success, cheer them on. That's why I was asking that, those that are watching in tonight, send them some heart, send them some love, because kids need that, just like we do. Like, we all need a pat on the back every now and then, right? But more so, here we got a young 11-year-old African American boy. He isn't out gang banging or involved in the bad things of life. He's doing positive things, and this kid is headed to New York City. Like, that to me is amazing. I'm serious. I didn't go to New York until I was grown, all the way grown.
Same here.
Right? New York City. I think I went with my church for the first time in my life. And I'm like, yay, let's go. Because that was that opportunity for me to go. But never at 11 years of age was I able to even be afforded those type of things. And so that's why when I do this, having these kids on the show and highlighting them and showcasing them and letting society see about our babies, man, you don't know how this makes me feel at night when I lay my head down on Monday nights. I go home after each one of these podcasts. I've gone home and literally just laid there and just like in awe, like, oh, wow. Like,
I feel like what you do, because I do see all of the stuff that you post, and we're always liking it. I'll show Jayden like, oh, look at what this girl is doing. You had a little girl on here the other week, and I was just saying that like this is a really amazing thing that you're doing, because not a lot of people are doing that for like
Our
especially children. Like they're just doing it for themselves. So, but there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, there's nothing truer than what we were all fed in school. Like, you know, the kids are the future.
Exactly.
We're done with being kids. So
exactly. Come on, we got to reach back and we got to bring them forward. And so that makes my heart happy to hear you say that, because I don't ever want to feel like what I do is in vain. I do what I do for my children. Y'all know my hashtag every day is what about the children. Like every time I see something, like I'm already in my mind. I kid you not, I'm going to put this out in the airways because somebody might grab it. But I'm already thinking about when you see these major events that's going on in the communities and in the cities. And let's just take, what is it that they have every year in New Orleans, for the 4th of July, the Jazz Fest, or what is it called?
I'm not sure.
Oh, right. Okay. Might me. So whatever that thing is called in New Orleans, y'all can tell I'm not from New Orleans, but every year they have this major event that everybody and their mama travels down to New Orleans. Can somebody help me? That travels down to New Orleans, and they go down to this, I think it's called the Jazz Fest or something. I don't know. But my thing is, what about the children? Like, let's have a section there. Y'all are all going down for the weekend.
Right.
Let's have a section there for the children.
Right.
Let's have something at all of these events that we're doing in the city, and y'all get dressed up and you wear your formal attire, and you get to go out and showcase your outfits and your clothing for the night. But what about the children? Why are we not doing things for them? What is it called again? The Jazz Festival. Thank you. I knew I was right. See, I know something. I'm just not that girl. I'm not your New Orleans kind of girl.
I know they have a lot of really cool festivals going on.
Exactly. And so what if we had these sections, and I'm not sure if they do that or not, but I'm always thinking, what about the children? Like, what are they doing for the kids? Like, this would be amazing to showcase the Jaydens and the Jairas and all these girls and kids that are growing up and actually doing something with their life. Why don't we come together as a society and we put our kids in the forefront and we bring them along with us, right? Or we bring them along with us and we showcase them, because if we don't, who will?
Right.
Who will?
We give them those opportunities. That
My gosh, yes.
About.
And y'all know I'm passionate about this. Like, my whole voice went to a whole nother level when it comes to talking about my kids. But it's just those type of things. Like I'm overwhelmed with so much on my plate. I had a family to reach out to me today. It's I don't care. Like, I will die doing what I do for my children. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let anything get in my way to stop me from promoting and pushing and pulling our kids along, because that's what it's going to take, y'all. You said it. We're grown now. Like we pretty much lived our life of childhood.
Some of us, right?
Well, that's a whole other show. But we've lived our life of childhood, being kids, and so now we have that responsibility as adults to bring our kids along. How important would you say that? And we talked about the family support, but let's talk about the village. Let's talk about, you said it a minute ago, you guys have had an amazing, overwhelming response of people that are supporting Jayden. And this does my heart good just to see all the people online tonight. Let's talk a little bit about that. There's a village, y'all, of us. There's a plethora of us, adults. I hate to say African-American, but people in general, white people, Caucasian people. Oh, well, Caucasian people are white people. Asian people, Hispanic people. I get excited about this, but there's a village of us that are out there, and we are all needed. Wouldn't you say? Like, we're all needed to be that to our children, whatever that is.
I think, especially in American society and culture, we like to divide and put lines up.
For sure, borders, restrictions.
I mean, you're right. When you look at a lot of foreign families, they seem to have this really strong structure of community to understand that. Like, every uncle, every aunt, every extended aunt,
Come on, now you preaching, girl. But that support is there, right? Like, they do not play. I have an Asian kid in my school, and the mom and dad are so supportive of her. And when she started, little sweet girl, I'm not going to call her a name, but little sweet girl couldn't speak English. And it did my heart so good to hear her when she said her first word. Well, her first word was Miss Felicia. And I'm like, oh, right? And so I built on that and I began to just teach her more and more and more.
Yeah.
And now she has the English language down packed.
Yeah.
But guess what? Her family is like all cheering her on. The grandma called me and she was like telling me, like, in other words, the mom was saying to me that she was saying, thank you.
Right.
Thank you for what you did just to help my grandbaby learn to speak the English language.
Yeah.
But they support that. They're there. They're pushing their kids on. They're excited about the least little things that we take for granted, speaking English language, right?
Oh, right. Personally, I grew up, I was brought here from Haiti when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So English is my second language. That's why I have a non-dialect like speech.
I can tell until there's a son.
Yeah, when I'm in the South, people say I sound Northern, but when I'm in the North, they say I sound like nothing. Like I have no actual like regional dialect.
Okay.
So, but that's the way I was taught English. But that
Right.
was because a lot of teachers would speak to me consistently
Exactly,
in
in the
English.
English language.
Yeah, and that's
you
just
learn.
how I learn, and I know how important it is to have somebody like not give you the slack to
Right.
go back to
Right.
your
Right.
comfortable
Your comfort
language.
zone. Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're onto something here, because now let's imagine this. So here we are in society. We see a kid like the Jaydens who's 11 years old, and he's out here doing something productive with his life, and he's on his way to New York City. He's creating clothing wear. He's got a fashion design. He's got his own line eventually, right? He's going to be doing the Jayden and Felicia clothing wear. I threw that plug in.
Available at Target.
Honey Poo, we going all the way to Nordstrom's and all that. But anywho, the JNF Designs is coming soon. Just stay tuned. But on a serious note, you got kids like him at 11 years of age. We're not accustomed to that, right?
Yeah.
Like I was 11 years old. I didn't know anything about a sewing machine and didn't
Right.
really want to know anything about that, right?
But the main thing is that they are growing up
Mhm.
in an age where information
It's
is so readily available to them.
Exactly.
So like
Exactly.
They also, this is the problem though with the same sentence. Like yes, the information is available to them, but also the problem is that they also think they can be rocket scientists because the information is right on Google.
Right. And so they think they're smarter than us, and they don't know we know how to Google too. Hey, you got to stay on top of these kids these days. But no, I agree.
Right.
I agree. And I think that that's probably what it all boils down to. And that is there's so much readily available resources for these kids today. It's nothing for them to jump online and figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? I struggle with math back in high school. These kids can sit in the classroom and Google and get their answer quicker than quick. But it's just that we have to keep up with the modern times. We have to keep up with the trends. We have to keep up really with the way of the world.
Yeah, and
but
don't
we
be
can
afraid
never
of it at the same time, like to give them the tools.
I was about to say,
Mhm.
but we can never get away from that. Like we can never get away from the foundation,
Mhm.
those things that were laid for us that we know worked. I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, you know what? We got to go back to the basics. We really have to go back to the basics in life where those things that worked for us, they worked. Why have we deviated from that? Just the simple get up in the morning and fix breakfast for your kids before they go off to school, or send them with that brown bag lunch to school. You know, those simple things in life we've gotten so far away from until I think we're all on the go. Everybody's running, doing. But we can never forget about the children. We can never forget about our kids. And I'm telling y'all, my whole goal in life is every time there's something going on, if it's an event, what about the children? Oh, y'all having a community-wide rally? What about the children? Can they come? And
that's like your tagline.
Yeah. What about the children? I get it. I know oftentimes people want those breaks and a step away from the kids, but y'all, we have got to pull back in society and go back to, again, the foundation, the basic things that we did in life to promote and support our children.
Absolutely.
Kids these days have so much going for them, as well as so much going against them, right?
Because
and so we have to bring that
out.
balance.
We would see a lot of Jayden's and the little girl yesterday.
Jara.
Or last week.
Jara. Hey, Jara. I see her mom is on. Shout out.
Your daughter was amazing.
She's simply amazing.
So like the fact that these kids are growing up with so much ambition, we have to make sure that the tools that they're using it correctly too.
Yes.
Because that is a fear, but at the same time, like you can't keep those tools away from them.
Right.
You know?
I totally agree. What would you say to the family that they have a Jayden in their home?
Yeah.
But they don't know how to move Jayden forward. What would you say to that family? Like they don't know they don't know exactly how to get that kid from being, and for the lack of a better word, stuck. From being stuck, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, my child has this talent, he has this gift, but what do I do with it?
Right. I would say just basically whatever talent it, because it does vary with whatever they're interested in. Like, let's say you have a child that's really into pageants. Now that would be very expensive.
Hello.
But there are ways to,
Get
raise the
engaged.
funds and get them engaged in that community. But also, it's sometimes about who you know.
Come on. I got some connections.
It's also
I got some connections. I won't be telling everybody all my resources, but all right, I'm listening.
It's not always, and that's the mistake that's given. It's like, just to build a community just outside of your immediate, village. Just go out there, because you'd be surprised at how many people would want to help.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, there are a lot of photographers. There are a lot of recording artists that's like, oh wow, I can see potential in this child. Obviously, like, keep an eye and be there and be that support, be that rock. But also don't close up to every person or every, like, especially in the Houston community, it can be kind of a bubble to try to get into.
Yeah.
But take up all those opportunities. Go out to like photo shootouts. Go and meet these models, because it is a community just like any other place. Whether you're at church, whether you're at school, you have a school community. Brenda always brings the brownies at the bake sale. Like,
she's a baker. She wants to cook.
So you need to like just expand that and really go into it. Yeah.
And I totally agree. And I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes that's where we go wrong with, and who am I to tell y'all how to raise your children? That's not what I'm trying to do. But I am saying, pull out the best in your children, y'all. Sit down, observe them, watch them, notice their likes and their dislikes. I'm already, my grandbabies, like, I'm looking at Carson and Peyton, and I already know, like, those girls have a personality out of this world. My mind is ticking. I'm going to get them in the forefront somewhere. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and they're only 1 and 2, but you got to know your kids. You got to know their likes. You got to know their dislikes. You got to know what they're engaged in. And then the other thing is, know what they don't like. Don't force them into Pee Wee football if they don't like Pee Wee football. Wouldn't you agree?
This one was in soccer, and he hates the outdoors.
Oh, gosh, right? I don't blame him.
But that's not always a bad thing. See, that's we were also taught, like, oh, you don't like the outdoors, that's not a kid. Well, like, there's other things like the arts, theater. Sure.
Like, there's so many things that they can do.
Yeah,
but I think that's key. We got to figure out how to bring our children back to society where people value what our kids do. Let's not take for granted that our kids are just, growing up and have these awesome and amazing abilities and skills and talents, and we just sweep it under the carpet. If it's something that involves a child and you're wanting to get your kid out in the forefront, let's figure out a way. I don't mind. I'm a research queen. I'll Google. Can you tell me how to? My Carson. The only thing I have a problem right now is Carson somehow changed my Siri to, I think, Asian language now, and I don't even know how to go back and change it. But outside of that, I said that to say I will find the resources for you. That's why I come on every Monday night. This is why I do what I do, because nothing is more important to me than to know that we, as adults, as a community, as a society, as the city of Houston, because I'm just staying locally right now because I cannot afford to go abroad with everything that we have going on, but that we're pushing our kids. Like, we are pulling together as a city. I have a meeting with the mayor's team this week where we're going to actually pull together and put some things together that will help showcase our kids on a higher spectrum. It's time. Yeah. It's time. We have to do that. Like, we've got to be able to say, enough of all of these kids that are dying and killing and bullying and all of that. But what about all these amazing kids that we have? So those are the things that we do, just to bring a highlight to our kids. And I will not stop. I'm going to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. But I am going to do this. I'm going to bring the awesome, handsome, my other son, my son that I help you raise. Y'all have no idea, but Jayden is my son too. So Sabrina and I share him, but I'm going to bring him back on. I'm going to let him talk just a little bit more about his next steps, his goals. Come on, Jayden, come say hi to the people. And here's what I would like to do. Sabrina, I didn't ask you this, but I'm sure, and I know for a fact that going to New York to allow him to be a part of this, that's not free, right? It's costly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so what I would like to do, and this is the first time I've ever, I think last week I asked the community to support Jira, but again, here I am tonight. I'm going to ask you guys to help support Jayden. Let's get this kid to New York City. Let's get him there to represent Houston, to represent smart scholars, to represent Jayden and who he is and the value that he brings to the table. And so real quickly, before we even close it out, Jayden, do you have a Cash App? Cash App, the app where you can actually, Sabrina, do you guys have a Cash App?
Yeah, it's the money sign Jayden Washer.
Jayden who?
Jayden Washer.
Washer, Washer?
Yeah, like the.
All right, I'm gonna put this in my my comments. And hey, if you guys can help support this baby, let's do it. I don't ask people for money. I don't. I'm not that girl. I'm nonprofit, yeah, but I haven't gotten my first fund D, but it's coming. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm asking on tonight is that you guys help me support Jayden, Washer.
SHER.
Okay, perfect. That's Jayden's Cash App, you guys. I just put it out there myself. I'm going to ask you guys let's get him to New York City. Let's get Jayden off to Fashion Week. And Jayden, I want you to know that we support you dearly. Smart Scholars is going to actually invest $100 into your trip to New York City.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for, buddy. You're my baby. I love you, man. I do. I love you. You're such a sweet kid. So we're going to give you $100. I'm going to start it off. I want nothing more than for you to go to New York City, and I want you to rock it, Jayden. I want you to go there at 11 years of age, and I want you to do everything your gut, your heart's desire tell you to do. Don't be intimidated by the adults. Don't let their faces scare you off. You stand flat-footed, and you know that you were created for this. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. So last thing I'm going to say to you, and that is you go to New York City and you better rock it. And you better say, Miss Felicia, you got to throw up the do signs or something and do a shout out or something to me, because I am super proud of you, my Lucy Drive. I am super proud of you. I really, really, really appreciate just to be able to give back and to impart into my kids' lives. I don't just have $100 to be given away, but I'm going to always support my children, right? So I want you guys, if you don't mind, if there's something that you can do on tonight to help support him, let's do that. Jayden, so you're off to New York City.
Yes.
How many attires are you going to be designing for the particular week?
I am going to be doing 10 pieces.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Have you started making them already, or?
Yes, I am over halfway done.
Yes, Jayden. Can I come see them?
Yeah.
I really do. I want to see them. I'm like nosy, right? I want to come see them. I would love, love, love to see your outfits. And so we won't expose that. We won't put it out in the public because I already know that you're going down, to display your work. What are the rewards of this? Do you get something out of it if you win per se, or?
Well, there's nothing you can really get, but the only thing that I really get from this is kind of like publicity.
Exposure. I was waiting on you to say that, like exposure.
Yes.
So have you thought of a name for your fashion wear?
For this collection. The name for this collection. No, I have not.
Okay, so I think we got to figure out a way how to put Felicia in that. So we could do something like Jaw and Fee. I love it. I mean, I'm serious. No, I'm joking. You look at me like, are you serious, Miss Felicia? I'm so joking, buddy. But I really, 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 really want you to get your entity name, you have your business name?
Yes, Job by Design.
Yes.
In Facebook, it's Job by Design. In Instagram, it's Job by Design Fashion. Instagram is my main social
that
media.
information out there. Say that again, one more time for the viewers.
Instagram is my main social media. Is Job by Design Fashion.
Job by Designs. Let's go out and support this kid. If you can't support him financially, push out his products, push out his posts. He's been posting some amazing pictures of things that he's done and designed. Let's get exposure to this young man. He's 11 years old. My last question, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But if you had to do this all over again, would you do it?
Yes. No regrets. Oh, by the way,
What?
jobbydesign.com.
Jobbydesigns.com. Mm-hmm. Amazing. I'm so proud of you, Jayden. All right, folks, there you have it. It's been an amazing talk show on tonight. I have my good friend here, Jayden. I know. Thank y'all so much for the hearts. Like, this has been a really, really, really good show. Isn't he cute? He's really, really cute. Definitely, if you guys can help support and promote Jayden, let's get him off to New York City. Go back if you didn't get to see his designs that he actually made for the two models that was posing for us on tonight. Let's definitely support him. Thank you guys for tuning in. I always say this. What about the children? Good night, y'all.
I need a photo for you.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what we got to do because I got to get out of here. I have to be out of this room at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Where? Oh, InStream. Thank you, baby. I was like, how do you do this? Cancel. Okay, InStream there. Thank you, Jayden.
Oh, and
dang, we got 127 views already. Like,
oh wow.
And I haven't even boosted it.